Thank you so much, everyone. I cannot believe we have already hit 200 subscribers on the San Diego Bakugan Brawlers channel. I literally just made the 100 subscriber. So I guess we're at it again. I guess this will be my little tradition until 500 subscribers. Today I will be rolling 100 B2 Legacy Bakugan. Obviously I don't have 200 of them, nor do I ever plan to, so we're just going to keep it 100, which I think is already impressive enough. Up first we have Wormquake. So this is the Darkest, Chaos, Aquas, Pearl Aquas, and Subterra. I think I've had this Subterra one for a very long time. I'm pretty sure I have multiples of it actually. But I will say the standout has to be the Pearl. I love the red on it. It's so weird against the white when you compare it to the regular Aquas. This one has been yellowed. I am curious if I will ever get around to doing a video around desaturifying these yellow color into the white, but I don't have the chemical for it. But I've always been interested in doing an episode for that. Other people have done it before, but it's something I want to do for the repair series. The Striker, I have Chaos, and I have Ventus. I worked so hard to find these guys in like 2 separate lots, and I absolutely adore it. I never had this as a kid, and I was very, very happy to like go out of my way to find it. It was absolutely worth it. I love this design. This is good B1 design in comparison to like how Monarus is. The vertical width on him is just amazing. I love it so much. Centipoid, I have Subterra, and I have Darkest. So yes, these are the 2 that I went out of my way to get. I absolutely wanted these for, I believe, Julie and Masquerade, but these were the 2 colors that I imagined for Centipoid, and of any of the B2s that I got, it was going to be this one. El Condor, we have Aquas, Ventus, Darkest. I believe I've always had the Darkest when I was a kid, but I really needed to start out of my way for the Ventus because I believe Kumba used it. So I don't know why, although Subterra is probably the canon attribute, I always wanted the Ventus one, and I gotta say I was super happy. Mine came at 660, which is really strong. Something a lot of people don't know is a little tail on the back. I think that's really cool. Terrorclaw, we have Chaos, Pyrus, Aquas. I gotta say, I absolutely love the fact that I have these. I do not think enough people have Terrorclaws in their collections, so for me that's pretty special. Going out of my way for the Aquas one in particular, I'm very happy I have a B1 and a B2 of the Terrorclaw, especially for how the claws work. I never had this as a kid, never. Monarus. I do need to fix this. I should have a Ventus. This is the only one I'm missing from the Oberus versus Shin battle, is having a classic Ventus Monarus. Super easy, they're not really difficult to find. Gargonoid. This is also one of my oldest Bakugan I've had since I was a kid. 520 is not bad, but I always had him as a kid, and then I ended up getting more B1 Gargonoids than I did B2 Gargonoids. I don't know, he's supposed to be like a little bit rare. So I guess I'm happy this is the one I always had when I was a kid, was the B2. Which is kind of funny, I kind of thought he was just like a normal one, but apparently not. Harpus, I have Pyrus, Aquas, Chaos, Darkest, and Ventus. I gotta say, Harpus has always been very like bottom heavy. She's very difficult to roll. I will give a shout out to the darkest one. I think the darkest one looks very good with the yellow, the black and yellow accents. Like, of any of them to have the yellow accents show up, I think it has to be the darkest one that shines the most. But the Ventus one, obviously, is just the classic. I did not have her when I was a kid, I don't think. And I love that she has those little feet. It's just something I don't remember as a kid. Laserman. Most of my Lasermans are B1, so here's my... I think I have 2 B2 Chaos Lasermans. Iconic design. You can really see the designs more. And I love that the fact that it's a B2, he's not prone to breaking as much as his B1 counterparts, because I have a lot of broken B1 Lasermans. And it's always the design of the wings. The wings are just too... the lasers are just too thin, so they tend to warp easily. This B2 will always work. Fourtress, I have here Aquas, Darkus, Pyrus. I've actually had a couple times where I almost bought a Subterra one, but it just, the trades just like never worked out. I also have like 2 more of him broken in like my pile in case I ever get around to fixing the other Fourtress problem, being the bar underneath. Limulus. He's my only one in B2. I gotta say though, you can really see everything at B2. You know that this flap is really thick. It's heavier than the usual plastic, the thin plastic. This has a lot of sturdiness to it. And you can even see the little additional holes here. Wish I could use him, but 330 is just so bad, man. Warius. We have here Pyrus, Subterra, and Chaos. I'm pretty sure I had the Subterra when I was a kid, and the Warriors, I had so many of him. I think there's like different face plates of him. Limulus, Ventus, Pyrus, Aquas, and Chaos. I don't know why I've always had the Chaos as a kid, but the magnet has always been shit. I generally do not have Limulus with good magnets, but golly, it is so awesome to finally have an Aquas one. This one came very late. I probably got it like within the last year or so, getting an Aquas Limulus. You do not find these, but you will see them on every single gate card as Aquas, I swear. Absolutely gorgeous, but I never liked the mold. There's just too many with weak magnets. Ravenoid, Darkus, Chaos, Ventus, and Pyrus. I think you see the Darkus and the Ventus quite a bit, but I don't think you see Pyrus a lot. I think I had Pyrus for a long time. But I think this was an iconic Bakugan of Dan as well. My favorite probably still has to be the Ventus, but I do think that the Darkus has a lot going for it as well. Rattleoid, I have Chaos, and I have Subterra. I had this Rattleoid when I was a kid, both of them, and I was always mixing them up with the Serpenoid. I always thought they were exactly the same. And then it's like, oh, Serpenoids I think were only B1, I think Rattleoids were only B2. But yeah, great magnet, never had a problem with him. Very easy to close as a kid, so I always appreciated that. Tentaclear, Subterra, Pyrus, and Chaos. I have the white-eyed ones, not the green-eyed ones. I think those are European exclusives. Definitely took me a while to get the Chaos one, I think. I think I had the Pyrus one when I was a kid. Apollonir. I have Ventus. And I have Pyrus. Pyrus took me a very long time to find. I might have just bought this one outright solo, just because like he was getting really annoying. And I think this is the reprint one without the mouth, whereas you see this one here is the one with the mouth. but I think I have a little bit of a harder time opening this one. Frosch. I have here the Pyrus, which I'm assuming everyone had as a kid, and the Aquas. Yep, this is the one that I fixed, I think, in like episode 2 of Baku Repair. This was one of my earlier ones that I fixed. And I'm super happy that of the Froshes, I think there's 2 Froshes. I got the one with the 660G because I think the other one is really weak. So at least this one I can maybe use in the future. His gate card's kind of interesting. Oberus. I have Subterra. Aquas. Ventus. And Chaos Darkest Baku Swap. I had the Subterra one when I was a kid, and I absolutely hated the fact that the Oberus card like sucked for it. It gives it like 0 to 30 G power, so the 490 just becomes like 560 at best or something like that. At least my Oberus, my Ventus Oberus that I picked up later was like 670, so it's like it's already like stronger than this with the gate card on top of it. I do love my Baku swaps. I wish I picked up more Baku swaps. I think the Chaos Darkest is a really good combination, but I'm not going out of my way to like buy like Subterra Pyrus Baku swaps. But who knows? With the evolution of our battle brawlers, we might end up playing more of these because these are the only Bakugan with like decent special treatments. I do find it very interesting that these guys don't have an attribute. Most Oberus do. And the Baku Swap series, they don't put the attribute on there, they just leave it with the secondary color. Something I don't think gets picked up a lot is that it doesn't officially say Chaos because it's not necessarily Chaos. Lars Lion, we have Darkus, and we have Chaos. I gotta say, I absolutely struggle with these guys. For some reason, I can never get a good, consistent stand on Lars. I don't know why. I think it's just always like the light magnet. But I love his design, her design. Her design is like gorgeous, and this red on black looks so sick. I think there's very few Darkest Bakugan that have red under designs, like Beast Striker. So I love this, but 410 is so bad that I'm never going to use this. But this is one of the ones that I like. Wow, I love this Roman-esque appearance with her. Exedra, we have Ventus, Subterra, Darkus. I'm pretty sure these are all the common attributes that you can see when you're a kid. Exedras are incredibly common. I've had like 3 Darkest ones for some reason. The design on how this works is also very weird. Most Bakugan try to hide their needles, but for some reason his is like really obvious. You can see them right there. Clayf, I have Aquas, Virus, and Subterra. I had the Pyrus one when I was a kid forever, and he was one of the ones that I was like, dang, I have a legendary warrior. This one's 590, but I think I have another one of like 310, and I was like, wow, 310, he sucks. So yeah, very happy to have this one, which is stronger, and then this one, which is the Subterra 440. It is nowhere near Alexis, which is at a freaking 700G. I think that's absurd. That has to be a new destroyer. Sirenoid, I have here Chaos, Aquas. I actually used to have more of these, but I've sold them over time. I have to make another sale eventually, but I made sure to keep one, obviously. And this one had the much better magnet than the other one. 370 is kind of useless though, which is why I'm thinking like I'll have to like get another Sirenoid. I never had a Darkest one, which I think looks really cool. Fear Reaper. This here is a present from Jordy, else all my Fear Reapers are B1s. Absolutely gorgeous. I owe him a lot for that. This means a lot to me. It is huge. And I love how thick his wings are, because the other ones, they're very flimsy, so they feel like easy to crack and they feel very pointy. His feel really sturdy. Mantris. I've only gone out of my way to buy the Ventus. I think Ventus is its most beautiful color. However, of course, I understand why everyone agrees with Darkus. But for me, the Ventus one with the green, it being a bug, was always the one I always saw as canon. So I was finally happy to finally pick up one. And of course, I just had to get the B2 size, because if I'm going to play with it, this is probably going to be the one that I'm going to want to use. Griffin. This right here is a B2 Griffin. I have so many broken B1s, and it's very sad that this is a broken B2. But this is so easy to fix. This is just a wing clip, super easy for me to repair in the Baku Repair series. But I love the fact that it's B2. I feel like this one should not break as much, in particular the wings. The wings feel very sturdy on the B2s. Cycloid. This one here is a fake. I went out of my way and I was like, I am not going to pay $200 for a real copy of this. So I paid way less than that to buy a custom fake while I was already out buying my Reptac. I made it a 2-for-1 deal with a long to buy one of his custom Cycloids. And voila, it looks really good. You will notice that this is like a marker gold. This isn't like the official brown that they use in Japan. Weak magnet too. He does not have a very strong magnet at all. But again, he was just a display piece, so I could finally have these 6 attributes for the 6 minor antagonists, because I was just only missing Cycloid, and I was not going to go through the effort of buying a real Japanese one when this was like right there, and he did such an amazing job on it. I mean, the only thing that really tells you is the fact that this is a stickered 420 on there instead of a printed. But it's just for collection. I never plan to actually use Cycloid, so it's going to be fine. It's just for me. If I was going to use one, it was just going to be his Pearl Ventus. I think would be the one that I think is like the most interesting one to use anyways. But yeah, just showing that off. Storm Skyress. I have Subterra, Pyrus, Aquas, and Ventus. I'm sure a lot of people have the Subterra Pyrus from when they were kids. I had to work a little bit to find the Ventus. I'm not going to do the jump trick right now just because of the camera angle. It makes it a little bit difficult for me to like properly shoot it, but maybe I'll make some B-roll of me shooting Storm Skyress to show off the jump action, because I think a lot of people miss the fact that, oh hey, this tail is loose, and like, no, it's not. It's actually just a feature. They were just never good at explaining these features. Hammer Gorem, we have Subterra, Chaos, and Subterra Bronze Attack. I think the Bronze Attack is absolutely gorgeous. I wish I had more Bronze Attacks. Just the gold shimmer on it resonates so well, and then the accents. This is my favorite. I like it a lot better than regular bronze. But you can't say no to the Subterra, classic Subterra. But I love the Bronze Attack. Of the treatments in New Vestroia, this is probably one of my most favorite ones that they made. Alpha Hydranoid, we have Ventus, and we have Darkus. You have no idea how long it took for me to get the Darkus. I also have the Pyrus one too, and I think I sold that one. But man, this mother took so long to find one at a very good price. I think I was just hunting collections, and I just finally got a collection where he was in, because most collections that have the Alpha Hydranoid, they just get really overpriced, so I didn't go out of my way for him. But I was very happy that eventually I got one for a decent price. But yeah, he was a situation where buying the collection made more sense than buying the single. Dragonoid, we have Subterra, Pearl Pyrus, and a Translucent Pyrus. I do find it pretty odd I don't have a regular B2 Pyrus, but admittedly those are probably sought after, so not that difficult. You'll remember the Pearl Pyrus. I used him in, I believe, one of my first episodes against Jordy, so he means a lot to me. I didn't have any of these when I was a kid, but I just figured that, like, hey, you know, these came in collections. I guess they're worth some little bit. And I guess while we're on the topic, I'll also just finish it off. Delta Dragonoid, and Infinity Dragonoid. So as you can tell, I really have not put in much effort into Dragonoids. There's really no need to. I just bought the ones that I wanted and I was happy with it, move on. You know, I'm a Gandalian boy, fight me. And this is one of the ones with a good locking mechanism. Far too many of them have a problem where their head sticks out, and I'm very, very happy that mine does. I've been trying to figure out how to fix that problem, but I really can't. And I went out of my way to buy Infinity. This one just took a really long time, but he's absolutely gorgeous. I love him. I've thought about buying a Darkus. I could buy a Darkus for like $15 or $20, really cheap in my opinion, but it's just like I already like have Darkus heavy metals, so I don't feel the need to. Also because of our battle cap. Our battle cap is at 1900, so it proves a problem where you can't really make a team of all heavy metals because all the heavy metal G powers are just really high, like every single one of them. Blade Tigrerra, Pyrus, Ventus, and Chaos. Not much to say here. Pyrus, Ventus are like the bulk of original BB. This is my Blade Tigrerra with the red eyes. She was a little bit difficult to find, not gonna lie, just a little bit. And I guess while we're on the topic, I will show off my clear Tigrerra. She is humongous. Like, look at the size of this. I got her in one of the collections. I believe I have the video on it. I will show the card if I remember. But she is ginormous. You can tell she's got the hole up here. I never see this. Like, you will see the Chaos B2s, but finding a clear one I think is just really rare. And 580 kind of makes it worth it. It kind of allows you to play the clear mechanic because she's so strong. It's like impossible for anybody else to catch up, at least when it comes to pure BB G powers. Wyvern, we have here Darkus, Ventus, and Chaos. And I do believe these are the ones that I repaired. I'm pretty sure of it, but I can't be 100% sure. But I am pretty sure this is the one that I repaired. Mind you though, I have like 3 or 4 of Darkus Wyverns, so it's not like she's anything special to me. For some reason, these just are very common for me. Naga, I have here the Pyrus, the Subterra, Chaos, and the White Naga, the video game Naga. You can really tell that the video game Naga is just a different material. I never had one when I was a kid. I eventually went on my way to buy a collection that had it, and I love his design. I always wanted this when I was a kid. I played the video game just fine on the Wii, but I don't believe that the Wii copy came with the Naga. So very happy to finally have him in my collection. He is also incredibly clean white. You don't usually see them this clean. Preyas Diablo, Aquas, Subterra, Chaos, Darkus, and Translucent Aquas. I have to say, I've had so many Darkus and Aquas ones. It is ridiculous the amount of them that I have. I actually got one or two of these from my collections. I ended up getting 2 Aquas evolution sets, which I think is absolutely amazing. 590 is still pretty strong, even for these guys. I say that as my regular one has 610. Not much to say about these guys, everyone has them. Angelo. I have here the Chaos, Pyrus, Ventus, and Aquas. Now, I think anybody in their weight of salt would notice that my Pyrus shouldn't exist. And if you did, you're correct. This was a fake that I bought in a collection, and I purposely went out of my way to buy it in the collection because there doesn't exist a Preyas Angelo. So I went out of my way to buy it, and guess what? It is fully functional, which is amazing. So 390 on this side, and 390 on this side. Most of them try to mimic, I think, like the 800 G power, because I do believe that there is a Preyas Angelo from Titanium Surge that was like 800 G power. So most people tend to do that, but this was a very early fake from the original BB days. You can see these like in Taiwan or Philippines, I think, more often. You will also notice that it doesn't have the accent colorings. Most Angelos tend to have an accent there. You'll also notice that it obviously showcases a blue ring, which is very different from all Angelos. All Angelos, I think, mostly come with the purple ring. As you can even see, even the Preyas Diablos have the purple ring as well. So it's very fascinating to see them come up with this blue ring instead of the purple ring. But again, I think they did this just for like licensing issues. You'll obviously notice because of the cross screws, so it's not using the standard triangle screws. So you know it was a fake, but because I want to collect all 6 Angelos, I figured, hey, you know what, I have an opportunity to buy a fake one. And I just took it because at least the other attributes exist, but the Pyrus one doesn't, just that way I can complete the set. And speaking of the set, just for the final 100th Bakugan, we have here the Evolution Set Preyas. So I don't go out of my way to get Preyases, but I ended up with a bunch of B1s. So this is my only B2 Preyas. Classic. You've already seen this mentioned a couple times in my previous collection videos. But of the Preyases, I'm very happy that like I have him, and I hope I'll be able to play with him someday in one of our brawls. The ring here is ginormous, you cannot miss it, and his spin wheel of course works. So you change him between Aquas, Subterra, and Darkus. Once again, I want to say thank you for the 200 subscribers. We hit it so fast, I think it was a month. I can't wait for the next episode in New Vestroya. I definitely have 100 of those Bakugan with all their silly special treatments. So I want to say thank you, and I'll see you guys again next time.